Hi, I'm Anne, back to talk more about mixed neurological relationships or relationships between typically developing people and people with high functioning autism. And what I'd like to address today is the concept of giving the typically developing partner support. And I understand that that is different, and the fact that it's different is really what's interesting and compelling about this discussion. We are so very much engaged in talking about how to support people with autism, and of course that's a very important thing to do. Yet we also understand that intimate relationships are different than parent-child relationships or relationships between a client and a mental health professional or a teacher and a student, and that there really ought to be relationships of equality. And here we have a certain kind of relationship, a mixed neurological relationship, which is different than relationships between two typically developing people. And as we're speaking about supporting people with autism, we're forgetting or we're neglecting the fact that the typically developing partner really needs support. And I'd really like to emphasize the amount of support typically developing partners need. We of course talk about supporting parents of children with autism, and we know that parents of children with autism go through significant life stressors related to their children's autism, yet there's almost scant acknowledgement that typically developing partners also need that place of support and help. And one of the things that I hear typically developing partners talk about is that the parents of their partners are very invested in the typically developing partners being there for their children in these relationships. And that's the way parents should be. Parents love their children and they want their children to have the best. It's also critical to acknowledge that a typically developing partner can't replace a parent. Their parents want the best for their kids when they grow up, but that doesn't just all go right over to the typically developing partner. So what is it that a typically developing partner needs? Well, I think it's education, support, and belief, and acknowledgement for what's going on in their lives. They need others to be there and say, yeah, you're married to someone with autism. That's different. Yeah, I can see that would be something I don't quite understand completely because I've never been there. And yeah, I agree that you need support. More soon.